But what do you make of this latest development? Merrick Garland's DOJ actually coming after now Trump administration officials
John,
for their failure to comport with this political committee.
Yep. It actually puts an exclamation point on the fact that we have a two-tier justice system. If you're a Republican, you can't even lie to Congress or lie to an FBI agent, or they're going to bury you. They're going to put you in the D.C. jail and terrorize and torture you and not live up to the Constitution there. However,
we can't even lie. Can you believe it? We can't even lie.
This comes on the heels of Sussman being acquitted because the jury that had a bunch of Hillary Clinton lovers in it, donors even, they said, look, he's a Democrat, and of course they're going to lie. Everybody lies.
Yeah, well, how about that jury foreperson? No big deal to lie to the FBI, huh?
Exactly.
Gohmert just said it's bullshit that Republicans can't lie to the FBI.
More people and more crime is committed, and more people are killed with hammers every year than guns. Look at the facts.
I will look that up. I don't think that's true, actually.
That is true.
In the United States, though?
Yes, sir. That is true. Look it up. It's on. You can Google it. It's true. It's actually true.
So the number of murder victims and the weapons used. Okay, number one, handguns, 8,029. Number two, firearms, type not stated, 4,863. Number three, knives or cutting instruments, personal weapons, fists, feet. Then rifles at 455. Then blunt objects, clubs, hammers, 393. The 300.
Oh my God. So Chad, this is, hey, listen, rifles plus other firearms. What's other weapons? That's probably a gun too. They just didn't properly record it. Other guns? Shotguns? Holy everything, almost everything on here is a fucking gun. Brass knuckle? Oh, okay. Yeah, that would fuck you up. This is where the crazy guy got it from.
But you yourself are from Colorado. This is your state. You're saying, look, all what you're talking about is already implemented in the state. Is that true? Do you have some of the toughest gun laws in your state?
Colorado does have some of the most strictest gun laws. We have just about everything that Democrats are wanting to push nationally. And unfortunately, our state is showing that these do not work. Chicago is showing that gun laws do not work. And
I must have missed all the checkpoints and border controls when I crossed over to Colorado from, Wyoming. Yeah, all the states, when you cross over when you cross up to the good old US of A, there's border controls on every state, When I cross into Wyoming or Nebraska or Utah or Kansas or Oklahoma in my perfectly square state, yeah, there, or Arizona or there's, the border controls are really strict. Coloradans go up to Cheyenne to buy illegal fireworks every summer. I mean, why else would you go to Wyoming? By the way, chat, there's you see this humongous square right here? There's not even 1 million people. Not even 750,000. There are only 500,000 people in Wyoming. Do you know what the average congressional representative, how many people they represent? Do you know what it is? 710,000. Charlemagne, you're right. Wyoming doesn't even have enough people to populate one congressional district. Yet they get 2 senators. 500,000 people. Pittsburgh has 2.7 million people in their metro area. Wyoming literally is not, there's nothing. No one lives here. It's empty. Can tourists buy guns in the USA? You know what? They might be able to, actually. I'd have to look into that. I've never had that. Only United States citizens, U.S. law nationals, and lawful permanent residents can purchase firearms. Let me see if I can. Let me look at this. How to illegally buy a gun in the U.S. as a tourist? Can you buy a gun in the U.S. as a tourist? This is a question that I asked quite a lot online. And in this article, you'll discover one way. Exception 18 USC 922Y2. An alien admitted to the United States under a non-immigration visa is prohibited from shipping, transport, receiving, or possession of a firearm or ammunition unless the alien falls within one of the exceptions. such as a valid hunting license or permit, admitted for lawful hunting and sporting purposes. So it appears the answer is you can, as long as you have a hunting license.
And every time something like this happens, there's more knee-jerk reactions to legislate law-abiding citizens and restrict them from being able to defend themselves. You know, Officer Talley is a hero. He went, while everyone else was running out of King Soopers in Boulder, Colorado, he ran in and faced the attacker head on.
I mean, a U.S.
And,
hunting license.
I wish that there were more people there to back him. If that place wasn't such a soft target, perhaps there would have been more law-abiding citizens carrying who could have helped neutralize the threat that was taking place there in Boulder. Unfortunately, the common theme in Colorado with all of these tragedies that we see is defenseless victims. A law didn't protect them. They needed a way to physically protect themselves. And in America, we see more deaths by hands, fists, feet, even hammers. And, are we going to start legislating that away? Are we going to be like these other countries who even ban knives? I mean, if hammers are the cause of more deaths than firearms, then maybe we need to start having background checks on hammers. I mean, look out, Black & Decker. We're already coming after manufacturers for firearms. Maybe you're next.
I think she was trying to say she fucked up her stat.
The hammers, that stat is just wrong.
Back to your question, Second Amendment is still my right, and it's still important to me. More people and more...
I had a good conversation with this guy about hammers. Unmasked and on oxygen. This fucking rules, man. He probably has COVID. That's probably why he's on oxygen. I would not get this close to a fucking attending any chud. If somebody identified as a conservative, I don't think you should physically get near them, because if they have COVID, it's not like they're going to tell you or isolate. I think that's you should just kind of think of them as disease carriers, quite frankly. I heard this is pretty funny, but apparently
Boris Johnson has given an interview to the CEO of Mumsnet, and it was pretty brutal. Here is how
we're back across the pond. Ooh, we're celebrating the jubilee of our queen. Ooh, we're celebrating the jubilee of our queen. Ooh, you fucking. Oh, we have a queen. Ooh, we have to keep our queen. It's for tourism. Ooh, dude. Jesus Christ. Can you imagine being a pro monarchy person? Poof, that's embarrassing.
It started.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. We know how busy you are. Really appreciate the time. I'm going to kick off first with a question about trust and integrity, because of the many, many hundreds of questions we got on Mumsnet, about half were on this subject. Yes. So, as you know, I'm going to ask user questions to you. Yes. So here we go. Oh, no. This is a pretty typical question that sums up the mood on Mumsnet, I'd say, from a user who goes by the name of TimBoothsEyes. She'd like to know, why should we believe anything you say when it has been proven you're a habitual liar?
Oh my God! Well, now everybody's turning against Boris Johnson because they have a neoliberal cuck in the Labour Party. So now people can criticize Boris Johnson as the clown he is. Well, when Jeremy Corbyn, an actual leftist, was in control, we couldn't do it. We had to have a fucking Keir Starmer cuck. Piece of shit. Like, I wouldn't even care who wins in the UK, to be honest with you. If Keir Starmer wins, it doesn't fucking matter. He's a loser. Ed Hobnobs, thank you for the prime.
That was so well delivered. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can I just say, everyone thinks you're an asshole. That's essentially what that was. Let's see how he recovers from that. How did he come back?
Well, I first of all don't agree with the conclusion that Tim, the questioner, asked, but or the premise of the question. But look, I think the best way for me to answer that is to say, look at what I get on and deliver, and what I say I'm going to deliver, and that's what I'm in politics to do, to try to make life better for people if I possibly can. I'm there to try to get the country. I was elected at a particularly difficult time in politics to get some tough things done. Things then became, if anything, even more difficult because of the pandemic. But if you look at what we're doing, we're getting on and delivering. And
have they gotten Brexit done yet? Because as far as I understand, they still have a big problem with the Northern Ireland Protocol, right? Have they not even gotten Brexit done? Because like I thought they haven't solved Northern Ireland yet. They still fucked up Northern Ireland. Just don't think about it? Okay.
I would say, look at getting many more police out on the streets to make our streets safer. We've already got about 13,000 more. Neighborhood crime down substantially. Look at what we've done with our NHS, which I made a big thing about.
So I think we're going to come on.
My answer about trust is people throw all sorts of accusations at me about all sorts of things. Ever since I drove around with a sign on a bus, and they have all sorts of reasons for saying that. But I think you just got to look at the record of what I.
Oh my goodness gracious! If it isn't Denims. Is Denims on to Morbin? Hey, Denims viewers, we are watching Boris Johnson get absolutely roasted by a mom's website. Proper raid. There's a proper raid. Let's get those wigglers. Get those denim wigglers going. I've been Morbin a lot. I've been Morbin a lot myself. It's a really good game. I have to say it. V Rising is a good game. Not sponsored, which is bullshit, but it's a good game. My wigglers are just DSA nodders. I'll get a wiggler eventually. The only smart thing Boris Johnson said is we can't have a no-fly zone over Ukraine. Yeah. You morbed the movie right back into the cinemas. That's right. Oh, fuck. To join the Morbin crew. If you wanted Morb, by the way, ! Discord. If you want to Morb. V Rising is a lot of fun. I like that it's a survival game that actually respects the player's time. I just think that all of the didn't finish Elden, already playing another. I'll finish that when I get home. I made you a wiggler like 2 months ago. Oh. Wasn't the Northern Ireland solution just to set up border checks between Northern Ireland and the rest of the K? Yeah. Hey, EJ Rich, hope you're doing well. Anyway, good game. I'm glad. Hello, Denims people. You all know who I am, Mike from PA. And if you hate me, then you hate me. DUP is refusing to enter into power sharing, and Sinn Féin can't govern. They found a petty reason to justify their tactic of never letting the Republicans govern. Wait, what do you mean? Sinn Féin won, so DUP doesn't want to take their post? Too fucking bad. Are they destroying the Good Friday agreements? Anyway, everybody, join the Discord. Let's get back to making fun of Boris Johnson.
What I deliver.
Movie night tonight.
That record for you includes tens of thousands of unnecessary deaths after Johnson delayed 2 lockdowns, the projected biggest fall in living standards since records began. That's what we're facing this year, and the longest NHS delays in living memory. I'm also not sure why he says people have accused him of lying ever since he offered £350 million for the NHS on the side of a bus. We've been calling him a liar way longer than that, and with good reason indeed. He'd already lost at least 3 jobs for being found out telling porkies, even before the Brexit campaign began. It's worth noting that wasn't the only tough question directed at the Prime Minister.
On a related issue, Che Guevara's hamster asks, why have you removed the Nolan principles, namely integrity, objectivity, accountability, transparency, honesty and leadership in the public interest from the forward of the ministerial code? Obviously, we had a lot of questions about Partygate.
Yeah.
Wollstonecraft asks, as a teacher, I would lose my job if I broke the law. Why doesn't the same apply to the Prime Minister? Another question, it's getting weird, asked, can you honestly say it's more important to hold leaving drinks for a colleague who you could hold an event for after restrictions loosened than it was for the rest of the country to say goodbye to loved ones at funerals?
We're not going to show you the answers because you've seen enough of Boris Johnson blabbing. You can look on YouTube if you want to see what he had to say. Dahlia, I want to bring you in and I really enjoyed seeing Boris Johnson destroyed by someone called Che Guevara's hamster.
Mixing, and photos with
someone else called This Is Getting Weird.
I mean, this is what the internet was made for, really. Like, can it just be this?
I love that in the UK, having a party during the COVID-19 restrictions is like an actual career-ending error. Meanwhile, in the US, Democratic politician, California's governor, Gavin Newsom, did the same thing. And nobody cares. Like, he got some shit for it for like a couple months. But then they were like, fuck it, we forgot it. They forgot about it. So, like, Mumsnet is basically turf 4chan. Oh, no. The turf island strikes again.
Over and over again, rather than all of the nonsense that we have to deal with. I can't believe that he agreed to do that. You know, Mumsnet is like a notoriously quite a ruthless platform. I'm glad that that ruthlessness is being directed towards someone who actually has power rather than, you know, random trans people on the internet. I'm surprised that at this moment he's not avoiding the public eye as much as possible. And of course, in that answer, he goes straight into talking about putting more police on the streets, which is, again, the exact kind of moral panic baiting that I would expect from Boris Johnson at the moment. What good is there putting more...
My old boss blasted OAN all day. I had to hear about Gavin's restaurant visit for about 6 months nonstop. Oh, well, like, the mainstream media didn't care, but OAN, I'm sure. It's a shit show over here. Boris is a fascist. He's trying to change the ministerial code to take away accountability. Yeah, you guys reelected him, man. I can't believe... Holy shit, dude. Is there a vote of no confidence for him? Are they going to do a vote of no confidence for him? I guess everybody's so partisan now that they don't do that anymore, but... Is it just me, or have people in the UK started speaking more in American/Canadian way? Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. We definitely have a cultural hegemony that is changing the British accents, without a doubt. Without a fucking doubt. The dinner was an outside dining area and didn't break the rules. LOL, please. It was during a lockdown, bro.
Police on the streets, when it's the Met Police that were present at a lot of these law-breaking parties and not only didn't intervene, but actually then delayed the investigation into these parties. So clearly, you know, it would make sense that he would be pro sort of putting more police on the streets, but it is more a fact of like going down that sort of personal security, moral panic. You're not safe. We're going to make you safe. We're going to protect you from the criminals and the whatever, you know, insert other kind of stigmatized minority here. That's the exact kind of tack that I would be expecting him to go down right now. Where was all this heat when he was in the lead up to becoming prime minister? You know, now that he has become prime minister, it's incredibly difficult to remove him from that position of power, which is a position that has very tangible power on people's lives. And it's a power that he has proven himself throughout his political and journalistic career to be incredibly reckless with. This should have happened 5 or 6 years ago. Now that he is prime minister, we don't have the tools unless we wait until another election. We are now relying on a couple of Tory backbenchers to essentially save us from this man, from the media side and also from people within government, from people within the Conservative Party. This kind of work needed to have been done 5 or 6 years ago. And so when I see things like this, it's like, it's satisfying to watch, but it's also like, what are the systems that put this man into place? Because this is not someone who entered political life yesterday. You know, this is someone who has been in political and public life for several years and has not only not been held accountable, but has been actively cultivated by many of the institutions that are now claiming to be holding him to account.
Newsom has done everything? You mean he has enacted single-payer healthcare in California like he campaigned on? Gavin Newsom has done anything to build up public housing? Really? Oh, I guess he doesn't do everything the left wants after all. Feels
positive thing of him sort of in this little death spiral is he has to take all of these weird risks. So you might remember in the 2019 general election, so Boris Johnson barely actually appeared. You know, he didn't really do any interviews because he thought, look, I'm in a position, my get Brexit done, you know, policy is going to win me this election. I don't want any slip-ups. He was quite reserved, quite small c conservative. Now, because, you know, everyone already hates him, it looks like his leadership's about to crumble. He's really taking these risks. Like you said, Dalia, it's surprising that he let this happen. He let these, you know, Che Guevara's hamster lay into him on YouTube. But I think we might see more and more of these kind of almost desperate set pieces that he's doing because he feels like he has no alternative. I mean, I saw on Twitter yesterday that potentially they're planning to have sort of COVID-style press conferences with charts, but instead of Chris Whitty, it will be economists, and they'll be talking about the cost of living. So I can imagine, again, loads and loads of questions about all of the people who are just fundamentally struggling during this cost of living crisis, despite, you know, as we've said, Rishi Sunak's package wasn't the worst in the world, but it hasn't Azmi Atefambula, who came on that show, said hasn't really resolved any of the problems that were created by austerity. So you're going to have day after day of them answering questions about the huge backlogs in the NHS and stuff, which you definitely wouldn't see if they were ahead. But because they're desperate, we're going to see some pretty risky interviews, I think. Dahlia, if you were an advisor to Boris Johnson, you got any sort of crazy things up your sleeve? You'd say, there's nothing to lose here. Have a last gasp, go dancing on ice. I don't know, something along those lines.
If I was his PR advisor, I would shove him back in that freezer and get on the first plane to the Bahamas. I'd be out of here.
Fair dues. Fair answer. I respect that. All of us here at Novara Media are working.
Man, I can't imagine being a British leftist right now. Oh, man, that's got to be rough. You were so close. There was a moment, chat, in 2019 when the moment it seemed like we might be able to the left would take power in the US and the UK at the same time. Something that has never happened. And instead, from those highs and high highs, we never again reached it. Copium. Are you watching the stream unsubbed? You're making income inequality worse. You are doing anti-praxis. We are the only Twitch stream that will not accept scam advertisers, and I will never fuck you over by selling you crap